Namaskar. Good evening, dear devotees and friends. Like every Wednesday, we study the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, Panchama Veda. Today also, we will do the same. So, we will be reading from the October 19, 1884. Sometimes the different publication page number of the book that I am following may not tally with you. Some of you say that you want to know about the date. So this is October 19, 1884. Sri Ramakrishna attending a program in the Brahma Samaj City in Kolkata. Sri Ramakrishna was explaining that as all pervading spirit, God is present in every being. As this is very interesting. Sri Ramakrishna usually we think is a dualist, but when he explains anything, we can understand he is explaining from the Advaitic point of view. So many of you know that Swami Vivekananda wanted to have an ashrama in Himalaya. Then finally, two of his disciples, that Captain and Mrs. Xavier, who followed Swami Vivekananda from London, they purchased a plot of land. Still it is there, the beautiful place. And you can stand in the ashrama and you can see a huge rain of the snow-clad mountains. That is called Mayavati in Himalayan region. So there Swamiji told that Ramakrishna mission is because it is a combination of all different faiths, different paths. So let this ashrama be a purely Advaitin ashrama. And he didn't allow to worship over there, including the worship of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna. In the Advaita ashrama, there is forget about the images. Even there is no picture of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna that one can go and worship. So that was Advaita Ashram. Swami Vivekananda went there and he was searching different rooms, how the Swamis and Brahmacharis are living. And he found in one room, one Brahmachari, he developed his personal shrine. Then he complained to the in-charge Swami, why you should go and you should see that. There's no dualistic ritual is allowed over here. Why didn't tell that Brahmachari? Then that Swami and others, they wrote to Mother, Ma Sharadamani Devi. Can't we worship Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna in our own ashram? He is our ideal. So Swami Vivekananda is telling that we are all Advaitin, but can't we worship Sri Ramakrishna even? You know that beautiful answer Ma Sharadamani gave. He is an Advaitin and you too, all of you are Advaitin. This is the highest viewpoint philosophy of any philosophy, and that God is one. Now Sri Ramakrishna is explaining. Why he is explaining? Because one devotee, he was attending the program and all the Brahma devotees, they were there, and there was a person who was working as sub-judge. The Master Mahashaya, instead of mentioning his name, he has mentioned again and again sub-judge is the post. And sub-judge, that gentleman, he was asking has God given by choosing that this man will get more power, that man will get more power, the favoritism. To Sri Ramakrishna was giving the answer, and there he mentioned as all-pervading spirit. In Sanskrit it's called Vibhu, all-pervading spirit. God is present in every being. We have to listen it carefully. As all-pervading spirit, God is present in every being. Now he said he is in the ant as well as in me. As Sri Ramakrishna and also the ant, the presence of God is same. Swami Vivekananda afterwards puts this: each soul is potentially divine. The divinity already present, and because the ant is a tiny and small thing, no, the presence is same, but manifestation of the power. Then he said there are different manifestations of his power, God's power, in different beings. So this, if we understand, so we will understand that we should not hate people or look down upon anyone because he is not having any quality, or feel jealous because somebody is more advanced than me and more popular. Nothing like that. It's the manifestation of the God's power. How it comes? Karma phala. Because of the past birth, he must have done something good. So that is why he is having this quality. Now, I will also do some good in this life, and I am sure that in the next life I am going to get all those benefits. So this is obvious. That he is telling a Brahma devotee, he asked and he was giving this. There's no more that the power that God is given, it is depending on that gentleman's or the person's karma phala. But another gentleman intervened, and he said to the sub-judge, oh, why don't you accept whatever he is telling? As if, stop the conversation, just accept, okay, like that. Sri Ramakrishna didn't like it. Those who have read that, Sri Ramakrishna was not at all liking it. Rather, very shortly he said, what is this? This is hypocrisy. The hypocrisy that Sri Ramakrishna is mentioning, he didn't like because accepting without understanding is hypocrisy. Hypocrisy is a sign of subdued mind. The free mind, they will never do it. The free mind always try to understand it clearly and accept it. That is the sign of a free mind. But the hypocritic person, he will just adjust like that, okay, because the situation is like this, let me adjust. But he is not accepting that ideology. Mostly the servants, they go on accepting whatever the boss is telling, the owner is telling, so it is okay like that. But a free mind will never do it. He will go and ask and get the clarification, and then he will accept. So this is very, very important. Particularly when we are trying to realize God, one should be very clear about it, and then he proceed. So just some friends are going over there, and I go and I like them also, I don't understand, but since all people are doing, let me also do like that. Since all people are behaving like so, let me also behave. No, not like that. It should be, you should be very clear. Now that gentleman, the sub-judge, he is asking, sir, must we renounce the world? This is a very important question. Tyage naike amritattamana suhu. In the scripture it says, unless and until you are renouncing, you are not going to get the realization. Tyage na eke, naike. Amritattam means that eternal bliss. That means the God realization. realization of the Brahman, the knowledge of Brahman. And the very first thing is Tyaga. Now look at Sri Ramakrishna, the great master. The moment you ask that man, when the gentleman is asking, shall we have to give up the family life, this our householder's life? Then Sri Ramakrishna is telling, no, why should you? Very first, this is the psychologically, he is inspiring that man, no, you need not to do that. And then he is preparing himself, mind. A man can realize God even in the world. Correct. But at the beginning, he must spend a few days in solitude. A few days in solitude. He is putting the thing in such a way that as if it is nothing. But if in the beginning you say, oh no, it is not possible for you people, then you lose all hope. But Sri Ramakrishna is preparing the mind in such a way, you live in the world, well, prepare your mind living in the solitude. What you will do in the solitude? A few days, he is telling. As if it's nothing, a few days you go and spend. But ultimately, you have to prepare your mind for Tyaga, for renunciation. And what is that renunciation? Ego. The Sri Ramakrishna is so clear. And sometimes when we read the scripture, and we don't get the clear idea. That's why the gospel of Sri Ramakrishna is a Panchama Veda. Is very, very clear. That if one goes again and again through the pages of this book, every time you read, some new ideas, new meaning will come up. I am in this life, in the householder's life. Okay, no problem, you need not to leave. But prepare your mind. How? Detaching yourself from the family. I am in that family, but if I am interested to realize God, what I should do? I should go out of the family and prepare my mind. What is the preparation? Detachment. Attachment and detachment. Sri Ramakrishna will come slowly, slowly. If we follow every word by word, you will find why we call him great master. The teaching is so wonderful. And just like a psychologist, he understands the mind and give the way slowly, slowly. Then one person, suppose he broke the leg and now once again he has repaired and now trying to walk. Then if you go, oh no, in whole life you won't be able to walk. Now live like that. So what will happen to him? So then naturally the doctors, they go on inspiring him. Oh good, you are recovering very fast. At the next day, today you have walked 10 steps, good, very good improvement. Next day it will be 12 or 15 steps. Like that they inspire the man. Sri Ramakrishna is also inspiring these people who are walked down in that life of householders. So many responsibilities, but the God is inspiring them, guiding them. Why should you? Sir, must we renounce the world? No. Why should you? A man can realize God even in the world, but at the beginning he must spend a few days in solitude. He must practice spiritual discipline in a solitary place. He should take a room near his house so that he may come home only for his meals. See how he is guiding. You don't live in that particular building, go and hire another, and take a rent in another house, and then from there just walk and take the food and go back like that. Sannyasins do that. Sannyasins live in a hut and they will go and collect some food. Sometimes the rich people, they open up at one place, and sannyasins will go and they will get little simple food and bring it. Most of the time they'll be reading the scriptures and meditating, taking the name of God or singing bhajan, like that, slowly, slowly, withdrawing the mind from the world. And then they have to withdraw the mind from his own body and mind. So that is the second step. First step, all those people whom we love, whom we are attached with, the company we like, from them you have to come back. And like so Sri Ramakrishna, he is giving them this idea. Then he says, Kesha, Pratap, and others said to me, Sir, we follow the ideal of King Janaka. He is mentioning the name. They are the leaders of the Brahma Samaj. They are almost the founders of the Sadharan Brahma Samaj. And Sri Ramakrishna is attending their function. And Sri Ramakrishna is among the Brahmas. But what he is telling? He told even the people, personalities like Keshav and Pratap Chandra Majumdar, he was the representative of the Brahma Samaj in the parliamentary religion over here in Chicago. So you can imagine. So these people, they are telling to Sri Ramakrishna, Sir, we follow the ideal of King Janaka. Janaka is considered as a king, also Brahmagyani. So he was ruling a country, ruling a state, and at the same time he was a Brahmagyani. That is the condition of the mind. Mere words don't make a King Janaka. Sri Ramakrishna is answering to them. I replied, mere words don't make a King Janaka. I replied, how many austerities King Janaka first had to perform in solitude? Do something first, then you may become a King Janaka. The King Janaka is known as Rajarshi. Raja, king, plus Rishi, the seer. The king, and at the same time he is a seer, so that is very, very rare. King Janaka was like that. But Sri Ramakrishna is telling that you cannot simply, just because you are also living in the household and at the same time practicing little spirituality, giving some lectures, writing some articles, and you think that you are King Janaka? It is not. So Sri Ramakrishna is giving the answer like this. Then he is telling, lust and gold cannot do any harm to the man who lives in the world after attaining God. After the realization of the God, then there is no attraction of this world. The lust and gold. Sri Ramakrishna again and again in the gospel, if you count, so many times he said lust and gold. Why he said like that? Because this is the root. As in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna said, Kama esha krodha esha rajoguna samudbhava moha ashana moha papma vidyinna iha bairinam. The bairi, they are the enemies. Enemies of your mind. What? Your desire, kama, your lust, your kama. And to satisfy that desire, you need money. And when that money is not there and desire is not satisfied, you become angry. So the Krishna, Bhagavan Sri Krishna said that kama and krodha, and Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna said it is lust and gold. But this is the basis, is the lust, basis is the desire. If you are free from that, only then can he lead a detached life in the world as King Janaka did. If you can realize God in the beginning, first he said, no, you need to give up your family life, then you can live over there. Rather, you practiced a little, but how intense it should be. Then he said, then you should first realize God. That is the thing, and then you can live in the world. He is giving the example of the Janaka. The Janaka was there performing all his duties, but he was a realized soul. He was only doing his duties, that's all. But he must be careful at the beginning. He must practice spiritual discipline in strict solitude. Solitude, why? Because when you are living with the people, different type of wavelength touches our mind. Some people will come, they will talk in this way, they will behave in that way. That's why the brahmacharis, they are not supposed to mix with the people, not to come in that. Even in Belur Math, when we joined, the Swami was there at that time to look after us. Afterwards, he became the president of the order, Swami Ishatmananda ji. He was in administration, assistant general secretary. He told us, when you are walking, when there are so many people in the Belur Math, when you are walking, try to look at your toe and then go. Don't look here and there. When nobody is there, early morning, when Belur Math is completely free from other people, then you go normally. Meditate. But don't go before the devotees and then sit in the temple and meditate. No. So you will find that. Of course, nowadays, because of the corona, Belur Math is completely free. The devotee, our brahmacharis and swamis must be spending great time there all alone. So this is the way it goes. You should be very, very lonely. You should be all alone. You have to fight with your mind. You have to understand where are the weaknesses in your mind. Sometimes you feel like talking with the people, or writing the articles, or giving the lecture, or getting some money, or name, fame, so many things. Because once you join in the order, in the world, any faith you are there, the people will come and they will give you so many things as gift. So naturally you have to be very, very careful in the beginning. So Sri Ramakrishna is telling, he must practice spiritual discipline. Then he is giving an example. The peepal tree, when young, is fenced around to protect it from the cattle. But there is no need for the fence when the trunk grows thick and strong. The peepal tree is a very strong tree. So when you are starting your spiritual life, you must be humble, you must be gentle. And when every Sunday when you are reading the Bhagavata, how the brahmacharis should live, so that all these instructions are there. Bhagavan Sri Krishna, he has given all those instructions in the Bhagavata, that this way a brahmachari should live. Then in the householder's life, he should like this. So it goes, all system. But those who are very much interested to realize God, for them this restriction is very strongly. Then there is no harm. The last end goal will not be able to harm you in the least if you go home and lead a householder's life after increasing his spiritual strength and developing, now he is mentioning, developing love for the lotus feet of God through the practice of spiritual discipline in solitude. Again and again, Nirjan Bas, in solitude, solitude, solitude. In the beginning, you must learn how to live alone. Living alone is so difficult. Now, because of the corona, the people are living in their own houses. Even then, they are becoming so restless. Even in the family. The whole family is there, but they are restless. Why I like to go and talk? When they were going out, maybe there was no friend, but still the company of many people in the market, in the cinema hall, used to be. Now that he is alone there, are very difficult. Some people are thinking that some of the young people, they're contacting us and they're thinking that they're losing their mental balance. Depression is coming. They're working, earning money, everything is there, but depression. Why? I am alone, I am lonely. Why you feel lonely? Can't you think that God is there with you? So this is the practice. We lost that practice, the traditional way that the people learn, and that is the way one should. That's those who are thinking to realize God and pursuing for that, so they should practice what the Sri Ramakrishna is telling, live in the house, but sometimes be alone, at least for 3-4 days, and the majority of the time, maximum time, should be spent in reading the scripture and taking the name of God. Because sometimes when the people they ask, we always say, make a routine, 24 hours. Out of 24 hours, if you are sleeping for 8 hours, only 16 hours are left. Out of 16 hours, 8 hours if you are working. Nowadays, the bosses in the offices, they have understood this is good for them. They get more work from the staff when they are at home. They are going on giving that you should finish this, you should finish that. And you are in home, you are in comfortable way, you can finish. That means 10 hours, 12 hours these people are working. If they had to go to the offices 8 hours, that too 1 hour will be, and the lunch and all that, mainly 6 hours they used to work. But now 12 hours they are working. So you have to make a routine. In the routine that I am going to get up in this, then I am doing this, and I am doing this. If you can make the routine in such a way, you will never find that there is time to talk to anyone. And one time you should keep in that routine to give a call to your friends and relatives, to near and dear ones, to chat with them, to talk with them. Sometimes the singing, sometimes reading some good story books, and taking the name of God, working. So like this way, 24 hours, if you make a routine, you will never feel bored. You will never feel that you are alone. So that is the only way, as the new word has been coined, new normal. So this will be the new normal life. So we have to practice. And better, if you take initiation, those who are already initiated, increase the number of japa. And if you are retired people, if you don't have the office job, make 10,000 japa. The morning 1 hour, then after the 11 o'clock or 12 o'clock 1 hour, then again in the afternoon 1 hour, then in the night 1 hour, 4 hours you should dedicate for doing the japa. And that is exactly what Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna is telling, spiritual practice, spiritual practice, spiritual practice. Spend at least 2 hours per study, the holy books, the spiritual books, read the gospel, and then at least 1 hour listen to the talks of different Swamis. So when they are giving the talk, you are listening, then your mind will argue why he is explaining like this, it can be like that, your brain will be active. And moreover, whatever you have read, when you will listen from them, so that will be recapitulation will be there. So like that, if you make, so 10,000 japa means minimum 4 hours. Every 20 minutes, 25 minutes, 1 hour, like that if you do, so 3,000 per hour. So 4 hours into 3, you are supposed to 12,000, make it 10,000, that is sufficient. A little meditation also. Then reading 2 hours, so 6 hours. Listening to the talk 1 hour, 7 hours. And then listening to the bhajans and singing, or you yourself sing or recite a poem 1 hour. 8 hours is gone. And that will be spiritual practice. After the retired life, if you are doing it 8 hours, there's a great spiritual practice, and you will change. The mind is completely changing. You will feel great joy. If you can do it continuously for 1 or 2 months, it will be your practice. Continue it. In the beginning, it will break, something will happen, but try to continue. So Sri Ramakrishna is giving the advice to the householders that you must go to solitude, not that you have to go to some other place and alone you have to. No, be there, because particularly in Europe, America, things are so calm and quiet everywhere, and you get the food, you get the medicine, you get someone to look after you. So that is the way we should try. Sri Ramakrishna giving the example. Why in the solitude? Why you should be alone? A man sets milk in a quiet place to curdle, and then he extracts the butter from the curd, the yogurt as they say here. After once extracting the butter of devotion and knowledge from the milk of the mind, if you keep that transformed mind in the water of the world, it will float in the world unattached. That is called Parabhamsha Bhava. So either devotion or knowledge, whatever you like. But you have to do some karma. What is that karma? Reading the 2 hours, listening 1 hour, meditating 4 hours, repeating the name of God and meditation 4 hours. Karma. So effort will be there, karma will be there, and your mind is getting purified because you are detaching the mind from the worldly thoughts and worldly objects. Your mind will get purified. The moment your mind get purified, the time will come, you will get the joy of freedom. And freedom comes from unattachment. But if the mind in its unripe state, that is to say, when it is just like liquid milk, is kept in the water of the world, then the milk and water will get mixed. In that case, it will be impossible for the mind to float unattached in the world. Friends, did you notice the Sri Ramakrishna, he is telling to the householders, but at the same time he is telling, be unattached with the worldly matters. But in the household, what is there? Your responsibilities. And that is also worldly thing. Perform that. But at the same time, unattached, detached. So that's why in the Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna said, Mam Anusmara Juddhacha. You remember me, and then you go for the fight. Juddhacha. So Mam Anusmara Juddhacha. Here, take the name of God. Understand that this is all temporary things. One day everything will be over. But accordingly you prepare yourself and then plunge into it. Sometimes some young people, they don't like to marry, they don't like to go into the householder's life, but they are in the working. I always advise them, I always tell them that whatever you are earning, a portion of it you should keep for your future. Then after the retirement, and when you feel that sufficient money has come to support you in the next, then you can retire, take the retirement, join in some ashrama, and spend your own money for the maintenance of your own food and other medicine, etc. Then you are free. You are not depending on anyone. That complete freedom should be there. But from now onwards, try to increase your japa. Japa is a wonderful thing. Taking the name of God, repetition of the name of God, again and again, just mechanically, even if we do, we are not getting the joy of taking the name of God. Doesn't matter in the beginning. Just go on taking that. Just go on doing that. A time will come, you will surely understand it, the joy of it. One of our Swamis, he has mentioned, he was also afterwards became the president. He mentioned that someone wrote to him, what is the meaning of the mantra? Then the Swami wrote back, Swami Gahananandaji, he wrote back very nicely, and he said, when a baby is crying and calling for the mother, does the baby know that the meaning of the mother? No. The child only know the word mother. What is mother? It doesn't know. But it goes on crying mother, mother, mother. At a time comes, mother comes and takes the child on her lap. That is the goal of the child. What the child will do, understanding what is the name of the mother, and then who is this mother, and what is how the word mother came, the derivative word, or what he is going to do. The child is only crying mother, mother, and then the goal is to get the mother's attention, and when the mother takes the child on her lap, the goal reached. Your goal is to reach God. Go on repeating the name of God, even if you don't understand the meaning of it, because your goal is God, and the system to reach there is the mantra. This is beautifully Swami Gahananandaji Maharaj, he wrote. So same way we have to go on taking the name of God. Live in the world, but in order to realize God, see, in the middle, in between the commas, Sri Ramakrishna, he is mentioning, live in the world, but, comma, in order to realize God, comma, hold fast to his lotus feet with one hand, and with the other do your duties. Mam anusmara yuddhacha, go on remembering me and perform your duties. So the yuddhacha means go on doing your duties. Different type of duties are there, sometimes so challenging, but you have to go on performing that, at the same time taking the name of God. When you get a respite from your duties, cling to God's lotus feet with both hands, live in solitude and meditate on Him, serve Him ceaselessly. Serve Him ceaselessly means whatever the work we do, if we are dedicating that to God, that is the service of God. That means unselfish work. Do anything that you are doing for the betterment of others, and with a clear mind that I am doing it for God, then that is the service to God. The subjudge joyously, because he got that, he is happy now, he is telling, sir, these are very beautiful words indeed. Of course one must practice spiritual discipline in solitude, but we forget all about it. We think we have become King Janaka outright. The master and the other devotees laugh. I feel very happy and peaceful even to hear that there is no need to give up the world, and that God can be realized from home as well. So wherever you are, whatever the responsibility you are performing, you can realize God. But the condition, you have to detach your mind from the worldly things. And how to detach your mind from the worldly things? By practicing spiritual the austerities. So this is the 1, 2, 3, if we write, that anywhere we live, either in a householder or a sannyasi, we can realize God. Because that is our real nature. So what else we are going to realize? Our real nature. The God is there. But right this moment we are confused because of all attachment with the worldly things, which are also made of God, but just for his own play to distract us from the goal. So those who are very clever, they should take the guidance from the realized soul like Bhagavan, Sri Ramakrishna, Sri Krishna, and then make a routine that this is a way I am going to. I am a monk. And my responsibility, these are the responsibility because I am in an organization. So my main thing is to realize God, but whatever the responsibility has been given to me, I should perform that. But then all work that I do, I must dedicate it to God. Now you are a householder. When you are performing all the responsibilities, but the main thing is God realization. And for that you should always remember whatever I am doing, these are all temporary things. I am doing because God has kept me over here to perform. So I will sincerely do it. But at the end of the day, I will dedicate all these at the feet of God. So it's the same thing. Giyasa nitya sannyasi yo na deshti na kangshati. There is not aversion and also the desire, attachment. It should not be. Then it is free. It is not the place where we live. It is the mental attitude that we are having. So Sri Ramakrishna is guiding. So sub-judge is very happy. Then master, why should you give up the world? Again he is telling, repeating it. Since you must fight, it is wise for you to fight from a fort. You must fight against your sense organs, against your hunger and thirst. Therefore, you will be wise to face the battle from the world. No? You must fight against your sense organs, against your hunger and thirst. Therefore, you will be wise to face the battle from the world. Further, in the Kali Yuga, the life of a man depends on his food. If one day you have nothing to eat, then you will forget all about God. A man once said to his wife, I am going to leave the world. She was a sensible woman. She said, why should you? Why should you wonder about? If you don't have to knock at the 10 doors for your stomach's sake, go. But if that is the case, then better leave this one place, in this one place. I am living in this world, I am living in the house, utilizing the benefit of living in the house. All comforts are there, food is there. Sri Ramakrishna is telling that, utilize that. But dedicate your mind at the feet of God. That is called Banaprasthi, modern Banaprasthi life. After all the responsibilities of a householder, and the people when they are retired, the children are all settled. So husband and wife, they are retired. They take the initiation. They take the spiritual guidance. They read holy books. They slowly detach themselves from the worldly things. But as because physically fit, they go to the temples and do some work over there, helping the others also to grow without any attachment or any expectation. That is the modern way of the Banaprasthi. As in the Bhagavata we are reading the life of the Banaprasthis. So the Banaprasthis are like this nowadays. The main thing is the detachment to the world. And when somebody whom you don't know is having something, you are not that way hard. But those who are very close to you, if something happened to them, so obviously you are so much attached to them, what will happen to my daughter or grandchild if they are like this and like that? So you have to slowly withdraw the mind. Suppose I am not here now. Suppose I am dead. What will happen to them? They will survive. They can have their own way of surviving. Think in that way and detach yourself. Rather give your time more in the ashramas where you can feel that I am serving the God. So this is the way you have to prepare. Again I say, Sri Ramakrishna is telling, why should you give up the world? You will find it more convenient at home. You won't have to worry about food. You may even live with your wife. It isn't harmful. It is not harmful. You will find near at hand all that the body needs at different times. When you are ill, you will have someone near you to nurse you. Sages like Janaka, Vyasa, Vasishtha lived in the world after attaining knowledge. They faced with two swords, the one of knowledge and the other of action. Sri Ramakrishna giving the example of these people who were the knower of God. The Vasishtha, he was the guru of Sri Ramachandra. And the Ramachandra, he was asking, and maybe that someday we will study the Yoga Vasishtha, the beautiful way the Lord Vasishtha, Guru Vasishtha is explaining. So they were living in the world, but they were the man of knowledge and man of realization. Vyasa we also know. Of course, Janaka. The Janaka, Vasishtha, Vyasa, Sri Ramakrishna giving the example of these people, they were having both knowledge at the same time performing their duties accordingly. Not Shukadeva. When he talks about the sannyasins, he refers to the Shukadeva. The Shuka was a pure sannyasin, no responsibilities for the world. But his father, Vyasa, he was a householder. So naturally, he was performing all his duties. Then subjudge. How can we know that we have knowledge? He is a lawyer, so he is asking the question, very categorical question, very pertinent question. How can we know that we have knowledge? Here the answer we must note carefully. That sometimes we get confused about the spiritual knowledge, Advaitic knowledge, and we make an idea. Here, let us listen what Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna said. When one has knowledge, one does not see God any more at a distance. This is the first thing. The knowledge means the God over there in the temple, the God is there only in a pure place, and God is there. No. So this is the first thing. The God is so close to me. And second, one does not think of Him any more as He. He becomes this. The He, the God, becomes this. So this become means is transformed. He himself become the person, become the God. So that is exactly what he says. Then he is seen in one's own heart. God dwells in every man. He who seeks God realizes Him. Now first two lines, how we will know that we have knowledge? we will feel that God is always with us. We'll never feel that God is only in the temple and nowhere else. God is only in the synagogue, God is only in the church. And the moment we come out of the church, so this is our world, and inside the church is only God's. When we go inside the church, we should not tell lies, we should not harm others. But that's because God is there. The moment we come out, we can do anything because the God is not there. That is not knowledge. The knowledge is God is always present. And He is present where? In the mind. It is not He then, it is this. And then ultimately, what is this God realization? Atmajnana. The God realization means self-knowledge. What is this me? Eternal. My body can die. As I am changing the clothes, I am changing the bodies. And the other people all around that I see is nothing but me as the consciousness. So like this knowledge, that is a unique way, the transformation, complete transformation. And sometimes some people, they think that, oh, we are people of knowledge, we are men of knowledge. And we don't like them because they are devotees. They are dualist. This is not a sign of knowledge. So this Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna is making it very clear. You know, in Hindi, there is a couplet, as Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna says, God dwells in every man. He who seeks God realizes Him. In this couplet it says, मैं को कहाँ ढूंढो बंदे, मैं तो तेरा पास मो, खोजोगे तो अभी मिलूंगा, पल भर के तलाश मो. This is a beautiful in Hindi. It says, where you are searching, my friend, I is so close to you. मैं तो तेरा पास मो. I am so close to you, so near to you. खोजोगे तो अभी मिलूंगा. If you can really search, then you will find me immediately. पल भर के तलाश मो. Just you search knowing what it is, you will find me there. What it is? Consciousness. What it is? My love. What it is? My unselfishness. So this is the God that is already within me. That is there, and I am searching God everywhere. So transformation is what is called God realization. The subject said, I am a sinner. How can I say that God dwells in me? So this is the concept that we are all humble people, the sinner. Very wrong concept. We make mistakes, but we are not sinners. When the children are behaving, slowly growing up into becoming a gentleman, if you note down how many times the best person in the world, when he was very young, like a child, and growing up to young age and then maturing, if you note down how many mistakes he has done, so many times, and the parents and all other people went on giving them, no, it's okay, but you should not repeat it, and rectify. So we do mistakes, and our worldly parents, they are giving us the opportunity to rectify. Similarly, the God who is the Father, who is the Mother of whole universe, won't He give us that opportunity? So how can He say that is a sinner, eternal damnation? What is this eternal damnation? How can that be? Sri Ramakrishna is telling, when he asked, Sir, I am a sinner, how can I say that God dwells in me? That is one trouble with you Brahmas. Sri Ramakrishna is telling. That is one trouble with you. With you, it is always a seen and seen. That is Christian view, isn't it? Once a man gave me a Bible. A part of it was read to me, and it was full of that one thing, seen and seen. One must have such faith that one can say, I have uttered the name of God. I have repeated the name of Rama or Hari. How can I be a sinner? One must have faith in the glory of God's name. One must have faith in the glory of God's name. So that is the thing. I can never be a sinner. Once I have taken the name of God, how can I be a sinner? So it is the mistake that we always do, and mistake we can always rectify. We can correct ourselves. So the sin, the papa, is nothing but the selfishness. So when we are selfish, obviously, we were born because of our selfishness, because of our desire. So we learn that we have to be unselfish. Have you noticed that the mother will give some food to the child and will ask, go and share this with your brothers and sisters, with your friends, with your other neighbors. The child is hesitant. He likes to eat that. But then the mother is at the back teaching, no, you should share and then you eat. First you distribute, then you eat. Slowly, slowly we learn to be unselfish. Whatever we have, we must share it with others. We must enjoy that with others. So this is the way the human being slowly develop love, understanding, unselfishness. No question of sin. We were eager to enjoy ourselves. Then the transformation is coming. Religion is entering into our heart. God is manifesting within us, and we are becoming unselfish. And that is called God realization. That is called complete transformation. Thank you, friends. I think we should leave over here. Then the sub-judge, he is asking the question, how can one have such faith? How can one have such faith? Answer, we will try to listen from Sri Ramakrishna in the next Wednesday.
There is one question. The question is from Pratima Mukherjee. No, sorry, the question is from Srima Biswas. Srimati is asking, if a child does not obey after grown up, child is not listening to the mom or father.
Growing up.
No, after grown up.
No, the child is not listening to the parents, and that is the. But here, Srima, this is the different aspect, how to control the child, how to. So these different things are there. But here, when we are talking about the God, we are giving the example. So the example the parents are teaching them. Now, okay, we can say like this, the Guru is teaching. Now Sri Ramakrishna Dev is teaching. But we are not listening to that. What will happen? We will be left to ourselves. And the maximum time it is suffering. So what to do? Now the Guru and the God manifested in the human form is coming down as an avatara and giving us the again and again, detach yourself, learn to live in this world but not of the world. And how you should do, take the name of God, repeat the name of God, go to solitude like a mother, like a father, like a very concerned person. When the God is guiding us, we don't listen, okay? We are growing up and going and accepting this world as real, mixing in the real, this world. As you have said, the child is not listening to the mother. same way, what will happen? You will suffer. It's not the worldly mothers, sometimes they don't understand what is good, maybe they are making the mistake. It's not like that. It's the divine mother guiding you. Ma Kali is guiding you. And you are thinking, oh, I am grown up, I have understood, I understand it better, and I don't like to listen to these words. Okay. But the suffering is awaiting you. So that is for sure. I think, thank you.
One more question came at the last minute, Maharaj.
Come close, I think they should listen.
Correct, Maharaj. I think this is more of a comment. Maharaj, your lecture gave me the correct direction. I am really thankful. Please pass my message to.
Oh, thank you. Thank you if you get the guidance.
Devjani Sanya.
Devjani. Thank you, Devjani.
Devanjali.
Okay, okay, Devanjani. Thank you. So if you are benefited by this, so I always say to my friends, to my Thakur's devotees, make a routine and follow that routine. Don't feel that you are lonely. God is there with you. Talk to God. Sing before God. And fight with Him also. If you are feeling some problem, go and talk. You will get the reply. This is so unique way. Now, I am not telling you that the mystical way. Just have the faith, because the Mother, Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, they said they are there. So if you go and talk to them, they will respond. So have faith and enjoy the life. Live the life. Let us offer pranam. Niranjanam nityam anantarupam bhaktanukampa dhrita vigraham vai Ishavataram parameshamidhyam tam Ramakrishnam Shirasa namama. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.